Welcome to Mishna study. We have the Masechet Peah, Perek Vav Mishnah Dalet. Over here is pretty much a continuation of last Mishnah. We're going to focus on the Rashi Ashurot. What are these forgotten bundles at the end or beginning of each row? What are these Rashi Ashurot? Ve'elu hen Rashi Ashurot. Shenayim sheitchilu me'emtza Ashura. Ze panav latzafon veze panav ladarom. Shachechu lifnehem ul'acharehem. Shelifnehem shikha. ושלאחריהן אינו שכחה. היחיד שהתחיל מראש השורה ושכח לפניו ולאחריו שלפניו אינו שכחה ושלאחריו שכחה שהוא בבל תשוב. זה הכלל. כל שהוא בבל תשוב שכחה, כל שאינו בבל תשוב אינו שכחה. So these are the Rashi Ashurot. You have two people who are walking from the middle of the row. Right? So picture two people starting in the, literally the middle of the row, and they're going to both walk to opposite directions. One person's facing north, one person's facing south, and they forgot in front of them and in back of them. So what's in front of them is shikha, is considered shikha. They're not allowed to go back and get it. And what's in back of them is not considered shikha, and they're allowed to return and retrieve them. Right? So Rambam says, first of all, what it says in front of them is shikha. What does that mean? Because what's in front of him, right, is in back of the second person. And no longer allowed to go back and retrieve it. And he's going to explain further. So when we say that they forgot in back of them and in front of them, so what's in front of them is shikha, and what's in back of them is not shikha. Right, so if you look over here, even on the screen, we said "Shlefanav eno shicha." The correct Yirsa would be "V'shila'acharehem eno shicha," like the Mishnah says. What's in back of them is not shicha. What do we mean by this? The bundle that he left in the place where they started from, right? So imagine they both started from the same place, and if you look at this picture, Rambam actually draws it out for you, and that's why you see there's two pictures over here. The one on the left is the one that was in the earlier translation. I don't know how it got botched up, but the correct version from Rambam's handwritten Perusha Mishnah is the bigger one that I scanned in from the more accurate version. So if you look at this picture, you see that the Rambam draws out that they both started from the middle. Now imagine they both started from the middle, but the middle one, right? They started back to back, and they missed one in between the two of them. So they started back to back, they missed one in between, and they both went their own way. So imagine like that, and what happened? They basically forgot something in the middle. Now, if you look at it, even though they forgot in the middle, it's still the perpendicular row. It's still part of that entire row. So is that considered shikha or not? So that's what we're speaking about. So we're saying over here, if he forgot it in front of him, that is considered shikha. Meaning what? It's in front of the place where they started from, and he passed it. So they both went their own way. If they started here, they both went their own way. So it was in front of the place where they started from, they forgot something, that is considered shikha. But the one in back of them, right? So if they both started from here, so the omer that's in the middle, that is not considered shikha. They are allowed to go back and retrieve that. Why are they allowed to go back and retrieve that? They both missed it. They both started from here and they went their own way. So that one that's in the middle, that is not considered shikha. And Rambam explains why. Because they never missed that. And that's the Rashi Ashurot is mochiach, though that is the one, the perpendicular row actually proves that it was not forgotten. And Rambam says this is the picture. He draws it out and he explains that this is what he meant by the Rashi Ashurot that was in the last Mishnah. It's a little different than Bartenura actually. Bartenura actually explains that the Rashi Ashurot is the second case. But Rambam is saying it's even going back over here. Now, next case in the Mishnah is a yachid sheitchil mirosh hashura, a person started at the beginning of the row and he forgot in front of him and in back of him, right? So over here we have to explain in front of him and in back of him differently than we explained it in the beginning. Over here in front of him literally means he explained what's in front of him is not shikha because he didn't pass it yet. So it's mamash literally in front of him. He didn't pass it yet. That's why it's not shikha. And what's in back of him is shikha, because he missed it. He forgot it. That's shuv b'val tashuv. That's the pasuk. Pasuk says lo tashuv dekachto. Like that's what we're talking about. So he's not allowed to go back and retrieve those. This is the rule. Anything that's b'val tashuv, anything that falls under the pasuk that you're not allowed to go back and retrieve it, that is shikha. And anything that doesn't fall under the pasuk b'val tashuv is not considered shikha, and he's allowed to go back and retrieve it.